Hello and welcome to Persistent Budget with Precious. In today's video, I'll be going over my first paycheck of July. So let's get into it. So I do have my little notebook here, and it says on the front cover, "With God, all things are possible." And I just want to give him all the honor and glory that he deserves for blessing me with the fruits of my labor. All right, so as I open up my notebook, I do have a couple scriptures here, and I put this is my budget in a notebook, Luke 14:28 through 30. For which of you intended to build a tower, you will first sit down and decide how much it costs. And then another one, I have Proverbs 21 verse 5. It says, the plan of the diligent leads surely to advantage, but everyone who is hasty comes surely to poverty. So basically that is just making sure that I sit down and I estimate the cost before I go ahead and spend God's money. And I do always remember that I'm just the manager over God's money. God is the CEO of my life, and I just try to be a good steward and spend wisely. So that's why I'm on this journey to get my finances in order. So here we go. Let's get into my bi-weekly budget for the first paycheck of July. So my paycheck amount that I estimated was $1,800. But instead, I actually received $1,572. My part-time, I estimated $100, but I got $91. So that gives me a grand total for my actual budget was $1,663, which that gives me a negative from what I actually estimated of $228. So yes, I was way off, but it's okay. Things happen. I didn't work a lot of hours, but again, I'm thankful for God blessing me with what I do have. So we're going to jump down to my expenses and bills. So tithes this week. So I budgeted $190 based off of my estimate. But again, I didn't receive the $1,900. So I'll be budgeting $166 for tithing because I do give 10% of my earnings and my time back to the Lord. I do have, what's next is gas. Actually budgeted $120, but actually will be budgeting $50. Grocery is budgeted $600, and it's actually going to get is $600. Household is $50, but it's actually going to receive it's going to receive $25, excuse me. Edison payment arrangements is still going to be receiving $160. Car insurance is still going to be $72. Car payment will still be receiving is $350. Nothing for debt so far, but yes, I do have a plan or a goal. I'm trying to pay off my car note by the end of this year, so I have 7 months to do so in the name of Jesus, because I'm tired of being a borrower. I no longer want to do that. Once you become in the knowledge and the know, you want to just choose to do better. So personal spending and savings. So I budgeted $40 for my spending, but actually I'll be receiving $20. For my savings, it's supposed to be $200 for my kids back to school, but I'm actually going to receive $100 for them back to school. So I do have a goal for that. I'm trying to save $1,000 by the time they get to school, and school starts very soon, actually next month. So with all of that being said, if I take the actual dollar amount, which is $1,572, minus the $1,543, minus my savings, I do apologize, I didn't even go over the savings, but for my high yield savings account, I'm estimating $90. And then I want to do this every Friday challenge, which is 13, because last week was the first, and this week is the 3rd, and next week is the 13th. So yes, that will be receiving $13. And then miscellaneous, like I did state previous, my car needs an oil change and an oil pan replacement. Excuse me, sorry for the shakiness. So yes, with all of that being said, based budget. And so I'm very thankful for that. And with that being said, that concludes my bi-weekly budget for my first paycheck in July. And so I want to leave you today with the verse of the day. And it comes from Isaiah 26, verse 4. And it says, "Trust in the Lord forever, for the Lord himself is the rock of eternal." So go ahead and meditate on that. Be encouraged. God is the solid rock on which we can plant our feet on. And I want to leave you with a reminder. God is unchanging. He's immovable. And he's worthy of your trust. So go ahead and lean not on your own understanding. Things may happen. Things are going to occur. And with God, all things are possible. Even when everything around may seem to crumble, I won't be afraid because I know my future is secured in him. Like always, go ahead and enjoy the fruits of your labor, but just be mindful of who's in control and who is the CEO over your money.